Hello there, everybody. My name is Sebastian, and this is my final presentation. A little about this organization. BridgeLearn is essentially a low-cost tutoring services website. I originally got this idea because I was doing research for this project, what I wanted to do, and I had a couple of options, such as I wanted to do like a food pantry locator, like some other low income services and stuff. But it was very hard to find like an API that had that kind of information. So essentially, I wasn't able to go that route. And then I thought to myself, well, it would be cool if there was a way for people from low income households or who don't have the means to afford tutoring services, because these services are usually expensive, to have a way to get the tutoring services that they are able to afford. So I came up with the concept of BridgeLearn, which is a low cost tutoring services application. Um, how I felt in approaching this project here, well, at first it seemed kind of easy, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a feature where a user can create a post. A user will, be able to book a session, and I have done a couple things like that in the past, but once I actually started coding everything, things became a lot more difficult. I had to think about how I was going to organize my database, all of the foreign keys, all of the entity relationships, and then the real hardest part came actually, how am I going to implement the uh, video chat portion of this app, because I really feel like that is like the centerpiece here, because I mean, yeah, I could have just made, an application where, you're able to make all these posts, you can create a booking. But I think what really brings this application to life is for the users to be able to create a video chat session between the user and the tutor, and all this happens inside of the actual app. So we're not using any kind of links, to like go to another website, for example, inside of Zoom or anything like that. Now let's talk about briefly about the setup and the installation. I am using for so this is a full stack application, and for the front end I am using a I'm using Next.js. Actually, this is the back end. Where is this at? Tutor post controlling. Okay, no. So yeah, this is the front end here. So let's go to my folder structure here. Let's close this out and let's minimize this. Okay, cool. So Next.js has a very cool feature where all your pages, all you got to do is create a folder, and this creates the page for you. So if a user goes slash dashboard, it'll take you to the dashboard page. So I have two types of dashboard here, one for the student, one for the tutor. And as you see in the project demo that I'll show, like these these are very similar to each other. The tutor has another page where he's able to create, and as you can notice, all the pages, they have to follow this naming convention where it's called page.jsx. Then Then we have a login page. We have a page for all the postings, and individual posting page, and then a booking page. We have a sign up page, and then all the components that I have here. These are mostly on the first screen, but I got a sensor section here. I've got a footer, I've got a hero, I've got a mission statement, I've got a nav bar, which is on every single page. And to install this, we would do npm install, and then the command is latest next.js. No, at latest. Hang on, let me check out the command to install next.js. Okay, so the command to install next.js is this. And then for all the other packages that I'm using, such as for the video chats, for my API calls, for the dates, and then all the icons, you just do npm install plus the library name. So for example, Lucid React. Let's move on to the back end. So then this is the back end right here. So we're using an MVC model. So we got a controller. We have a repo which is hitting all of the databases, and then the main index file here. And this is very simple to install. I'm just gonna do npm install. So we gotta do npm init. This will create the initial Node.js project, and then from here we just do npm install express, and then all of our other libraries. Then all the other libraries are right here. As far as databases, I'm using a MySQL database that's hosted on aviancloud.com, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different tables. So we got one for user, we've got one for the post, we've got one for the post subjects, we have for the availability, we have subjects which just hold the subjects. We've got a one for reviews, and then one for also bookings. And let me grab an entity relationship diagram so I can show you how all this goes together. Yeah, here's the ERD right here. So we've got a user. They can be either a tutor or student, so that's what the role's here for. And then say for example that the user is a tutor, they're able to create a post, and then this is connected by the ID back to the users table. And then from here, each post has a different subject, so it's connected by the post ID here, and then the subjects are connected by the subject ID. The availability here is connected by the tutor ID from the tutor posts, and then the bookings are once again the tutor ID, and then the reviews also the tutor ID. So let's see how all this fits in together, and let me give you a demo of the project. So this is the page that will show when a user first accesses the website. So I'm just gonna maximize this. This is just kind of just like a regular landing page, so it's not all empty here when a user first signs in. And let's hit get started right here and get started right here. Oh, you know what? I did not turn on the front end. Sorry about that. So let's sign up on both of these, because one of these is going to be a user and the other one's going to be a student. So we're going to do let's do the student John Smith. Let's do an email, student@gmail.com, password. Passwords do not match. Could have swore that I did that good. Oh. And I forgot to turn on the back end here. Sorry about that again. Sign up successful. Welcome on board. Let's do the tutor now. Bob Johnson, I am a tutor. And just to show you that if a user tries to use the same email as another one, they won't be able to. Email already exists. Please use a different method. Please use a different email. So let's do tutor@gmail.com. Sign up successful, welcome on board. So these are the main dashboards here. On the tutor dashboard, we can see there's 0 active students and 0 sessions completed. So let's create a post. Alright, let's do expert math tutor. Description: I am a math tutor specializing in algebra and calculus. I am here to answer any questions. Subjects: you teach math. We can also add another one, for example, biology, but this is just a math tutor, so we're just gonna keep it math. Hourly rate, let's do it $10. Add a slot, Monday. So I will choose a time right now that is closer to the current time, because I have a check in place where users are not able to join a session unless it's half an hour before the session time. So let's do, it's 3:20 now, so let's do 3:30, just so we're actually able to access the session. So let's do from 3:30 to 5, and then let's do another day, for example, Friday from 3 to 5. Okay, great. Qualifications: I have 20 years of math experience, masters in math. Okay, publish post. Post created successfully. On the user dashboard, let's go to view posts, and then here is his hair is showing up here. It's because I'm running on my dev server now. So here is the post right here that we just made. Let's go to view profile. This shows some more information here. This if you leave a review, this will also show the reviews. And let's hit up on here book session. So let's do practice problems. Let's do Monday. Let's do 3:30. Sample notes. Book session now. Now we got a pending session right here. So let's refresh the page. Let's approve it. That's approved. Let's refresh on the user side also too. And now we're able to join a session since it's half an hour before. So the cutoff is half an hour, but it's only 8 minutes right now before the session's start time. So let's do join here. Now, since we don't have a camera, we're gonna have to, so I can show you how the functionality would look like if I have a camera. I would have to do a screen share here. So this is essentially what it would look like. And now let's share the user screen. So let me just open up, for example, a website, and it will automatically show on the tutor screen also too, because the user in this case is sharing their screen. And I can stop sharing, go back here. There's also a chat function here. Where's this at? Hello. How are you? Okay, leave. Let's go back to dashboards of both. Now the tutor can finish the session. So let's do finish. Let's refresh that, and now the session is under completed session. So let's leave our review. Since Bob Johnson was very helpful. You were very helpful. And now the leave a review button will not show up anymore, since we already left our review for this tutor here. So now if we go back to the post, we view the profile, and there's our review that we left. And then on the tutor dashboard, it would show here that there's one session that has been completed, because we finished that one session, and we've got only one session in the completed section. So to conclude this project, I just wanted to say that I had a very fun time. It was very cool to learn about, you know, this whole video chat side of this application. There are a couple of other things, you know, that I would have liked to have actually still done, such as it would have been cool if, for example, when a a session got approved, it would send a notification to the user that, hey, you know, you have a session that has been approved, so the user does not have to refresh the page to view all the changes. It would have been also nice to have like some kind of internal messaging system where the user and the tutor are able to message each other. So these are all things, you know, if I ever decide to return to this project, then I would like to add those kinds of features. And also, I'm kind of upset too that I wasn't able to host the front end and the back end. I was only able to host the database. I was having issues where the cookies were not being saved on the front end, and I was trying to figure that out for a couple days, you know. So unfortunately, when someone is going to be running this project, they have to clone it, and then they have to install all the libraries, and then just hit npm run start. And I've got all the instructions in my project manual too. Just want to go over the back end too, because I don't think I went too much into detail here. Yeah, so let's just do an example of an API call. So I've got this API folder here, and let's do. So we got this method here, right? Which is this is calling our backend to grab all the tutor posts. So it's hitting localhost 5000 API tutor posts. Now if we open up the backend, so let's start at the index so I can show you kind of the flow of this. So here it is. Here's the endpoint, API tutor posts, and this hits the routes. So this was a get method. So it's hitting here, and then it's calling the controller, which has this get all posts method, which is right here. And then this is calling the tutor post repo, which has get tutor post. And then followed by this very large SQL statement. This will return all of the information back to the controller. We send a response back to the front end. Get tutor post right here, and then this is returning, and I believe this actual method is being called in the posting page. Yeah, here. So this is using use query, which is a very nice library for fetching data. And here's the method that was in that API folder. Yeah, so that's just a very simple kind of example, of the actual flow in between the front end and the back end, and how all the information is being shown back to the user. Yeah, so just wanted to say again, I had a very fun time. I had a very fun time making this app, and I think in the future, I might add those finishing touches, so I can include this application on my resume. Alrighty, that's it. Thank you very much.